Now, Russia's President Putin is giving a speech at an economic forum in St. Petersburg, with his country, of course, under heavy economic sanctions from the West. He had this message as he opened his address.
I reiterate, these are fundamental, truly revolutionary and inexorable changes. It would be a mistake to think that during these tumultuous changes you can simply sit it out, biding your time, that everything is going to get back to its circuits, that everything is going to be as it was. It won't. And yet, it seems as if the ruling elites of certain Western countries are laboring under precisely these very illusions, choosing to ignore the obvious, persistently clinging to the ghosts of the past. In particular, they think that the domination of the West in global politics and economics is a constant, but nothing is peremptory, nothing is eternal. Moreover, our colleagues are not simply denying the reality, they are trying to oppose the course of history, thinking in the past categories, laboring under their own delusions about countries that live outside the so-called golden billion. They think that the rest of the world is periphery, their own backyard.
President Putin, who I think is still addressing that conference, a depleted, diminished guest list this year. Let's speak to Sergei Goryashko from BBC Russian Service. A combative speech, really pointing out that actually, despite all these sanctions, Russia's doing fine.
Yeah, well, that's the main line of Russian economics department of the government, that despite sanctions were really hard, and as Putin said, they were like a wave of sanctions against Russia, which he claims are insane and even insane, like in terms that there was no sanity in doing that. Still Putin claims that Russian economy has survived and is doing pretty much fine, even better than the EU economy, which has implemented those sanctions against the country.
Okay, so he's saying that the sanctions, have inflicted more pain on the countries that have imposed them than on Russia?
Well, not more, but at least the same amount, and probably in the long term, in his mind, it will be even worse for the EU countries, which, according to his speech, has lost their sovereignty. He says that they are doing everything according to the policy coming back from the Washington, D.C.
Okay, and when he talks about what is happening in Ukraine, like his foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, this is still not a war.
Well, the thing is that Putin didn't talk about what's happening in Ukraine. If you just haven't heard anything about what was happening for the last 3 months and were listening to Putin's speech today, you would give you a really astonishing impression that, like, Putin is telling about the sanctions which are coming, but no one knows why are they coming. He only mentioned once this so-called special military operation in Donbass, and he says that even EU, who hasn't started any special military operations, that they are suffering more from inflation now than Russia is.
Now, normally you'd have, I think last year Macron went, Merkel went. This year you've got the Taliban and you've got Alexander Lukashenko, among others. How much of a change has there been in those people who are attending?
Well, we also have Kazakh leader Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, who's sitting right next to Vladimir Putin while he's giving his speech at this forum. Of course, it doesn't look like as it was when it started 20 years ago, when foreign leaders came there. It was like a thing to show to the Europe, to Western countries, that Russia is open to investments, that it's a good climate to bring your money in and to get revenues. For now, it's like a club of dictators and of some like self-proclaimed republics. As the leader of Donetsk People's Republic's proclaimed republic, Alexander Pashtylin, is also attending this forum.
Okay, Sergei, thank you very much indeed.